Hi, my name's Dan Girolmo. They call me Big Boomer. I'm the common sense knucklehead in today's world that maybe lacks a lot of common sense. I was a licensed and bonded repossessor in Southern California for 27 years. I was also an online claims adjuster, and I've seen a side of life that most people haven't seen. Now, I've knocked in over 300,000 doors in my career asking people for money, keys, or information, and I admit, I've been bamboozled before, but I was never fooled long term. What you're going to see here has a logical, relevant benefit to every single person you ever know, meet, or run into. It is not selective. It doesn't matter if you're a white-collar worker, a blue-collar worker, or a no-collar worker. You get paid in this, and this is supposed to represent the labor you gave to somebody else. And life's a series of tasks. Some tasks pay you $30,000 a year, some pay you $100,000 a year, some pay you $500,000 a year, and some pay you $2 million a year. The tasks that we perform create our reality about time and money. I'm going to ask you this: how long have you been in a career? If you've been in a career for more than 10 years, if the tasks you perform on a daily basis were ever designed to make you wealthy and give you real freedom, don't you think they would have done it by now? We have two tasks for you to follow. We only do two things. Number one, we save money first, not last. Okay? And we make money for those that want to by sharing the reason why you want to save money first, not last. Now, how do you save money? I'm going to show you something very selective here. Now, one thing I want you to know is I never repossessed anybody based on how much money they made. It was always by how much money they kept. Germany, Austria, and Switzerland are the highest rate per capita savers in the world at 15 to 17%. Do you know what the United States is? Our rate per capita savers is negative 2.5%, which means the average rate per citizen goes into debt 2.5%. Think about that for a minute. See, kids don't follow what we say. They watch what we do. We are going to inspire a new generation by setting the example of saving first, not last. Now, this dollar bill is the exclusive reserve currency until it isn't anymore, folks. And this dollar bill was worth 1.5 grams of gold. Did you know that? Because they didn't teach me that in school. But that's what it is. So paper money is merely a substitute for real gold money. So which would you rather have, a substitute or the real thing? Let's take a look at what's happened to the substitute. This original buying power here, 1.5 grams of gold, this is the buying power of the dollar after World War I and World War II. This is the buying power of the dollar after the Korean War. This is also when the country went education crazy. And if you have a better education and get a better degree, you're going to make way more money and you'll have a better and better life. And that advice worked for 2 decades with soundness. This is the buying power of the dollar after the Vietnam War. This is when the dollar was no longer coupled to gold. It was decoupled in 1971. And prior to that, the word savings used to mean storing generational wealth. Money that was backed by gold. And you used to save up. And then when you retired, you lived off your savings. You supplemented it with Social Security and a pension. Okay? And that's what the advice was. Ask your grandparents. But when the dollar was decoupled from gold, it was the beginning of the end of the advice that you could do what you needed to do by working for money effectively. Now, the job was supposed to do 3 things. The job was supposed to give you enough money to live on. The job was also supposed to give you enough money to pay the taxes the government said you had to pay. And it was supposed to give you enough money that you didn't have to live on so you could put it in the power of compounding, so when you couldn't work anymore, you had something to live on. How's that working for you? When the dollar became decoupled from gold, the media reprogrammed your brain to mean the word savings now meant spending at a discount, affording your lifestyle. How do I know? What did I do for 27 years? Now, this is the buying power of the dollar after Desert Storm and the end of the Cold War. This is where it took 2 people to work in a home what used to take 1 person to do. This is the buying power of the dollar after the Afghan war. This is when kids stayed home till they're 25 and 26 years of age. You know anybody like that? Okay? And this is also when a ton of kids went on antidepressants. We've seen the results with that here in the last 15 years, haven't we? This is maybe where kids aren't depressed. Maybe they're just not inspired by what they see us do. You ever seen a person who's inspired that needs to be on antidepressants? This is the buying power of the dollar after the Iraq War. We're still back. We're still there. We're sending more people in there. Okay? And this is where 1 out of 5 households in America, 1 out of 5, do not have one single person working in the entire home. This is where 84% of the population believe they have an inadequate retirement plan, and 46% believe they will run out of life before they run out of money. What we're going to show you how to do is very simply, we're going to show you how to once again unfold the buying power of what is supposed to represent your labor so that you can, no matter what you do, so that once again you can have dignity for the work that you perform and security for those of you who have already performed the work and are looking to have a stress-free retirement, never having to think about going back to work. And if all you ever did was make one small change in your bank saving or banking routine, you would solve all debt, savings, and currency crisis for you and your family. And the economy that matters the most is the one in your own home. Because if you don't fix that, you can't help fix your community or your city or your state or across the planet. What we have is simple and it's universal, and you don't need anybody else's permission, opinion, or criticism to do it. And the process that we have, it's a little secret, but it's been in business for 5 years, and they are vetted by their own MasterCard. And I'm a common sense guy. Only legitimate things can be vetted by MasterCard. Okay? Now, pay attention to what Ron has to say, and we'll speak to you in a little bit.